Welcome back to Captain DLC Gaming. Today we are jumping into the arena standard rank queue, and we are going to go back a step and play some Dimir rogues. So let's jump in, see if the hated rogues are still hated, and if they are still good in the standard meta. I know there's probably quite a few iterations of this deck. We are playing the creature-heavy true rogue deck. Not as much control as some of the decks have been playing. And here's a decent opening hand for us. 2 ice lands. We got a Agadeem's Awakening for the black mana. Often we struggle to get that. Hopefully we'll get drawn to another one for the Scavenger. But definitely think this is keepable. And we will be hasty and go ahead and Wind Robber turn 1, per usual. I haven't played this deck in a while, at least a week or more. Let's see if I remember how it goes. Deal the opponent a swamp. Let that enter tapped. Turn 2, I'm not too concerned about paying the 3 life to hold up Heartless Act. Risky play here. We'll play it on main phase to get the trigger off of the attack from the Wind Robber is our hope here, and we do. We get to mill 3 cards this turn. So our opponent in black-white, will we see a life gain theme, sacrifice theme? Interesting. Or what is it that we don't want to see? What's the enchantment that's so annoying? I'll think of it here in a second. Yeah. Go attacking. Doom Foretold. That's what I was trying to think of. Is this a Doom Foretold deck? Ooh, good to get Elspeth's Nightmare out of the opponent's library. And we will end the turn there. Opponent sacks to Scry. Makes sense. Poor little goat. Just there for sacrifice fodder. Do we Heartless Act or do we draw cards? I think we want to draw cards. Take 3 here. Refill our hand. Opponent flashes in Omen of the Sun. Gets a couple dorks onto the battlefield. It would be nice to have our second black land. We do have the Awakening. Only doing 2 damage per turn. Will we turn it on this turn? I think we will. Yep. So we'll get additional damage in on this swing. Four damage coming across. Going it down to 14. Let's see here. Let's Wind Robber. And I think at this point we go ahead and play Agadeem's Awakening. Are we gonna get Shattered? That's something people are still playing in their decks. That would definitely overextend us if we played it this turn. I think we let it come in tapped. We hold that for next turn. And we'll leave up Heartless Act or Brazen Barber as we need it. So opponent comes in for the full swing. Oops. Right. Pass, then block. I think we offer the trade here and see what they do. Likely just going to buy it back and empty things out of their graveyard, which we should have thought of in that block. Should have sacked for the card draw. What does that put our opponent down to? 6 cards in graveyard. Yep. That's a oops on our side. Oh, it's got counters on it. Cancel. We can make it smaller, but we can't kill it. Do we bounce it? I think we do. Bounce it, then it'll come out in with no counters on it. They'll get a goat. I'm not worried about that. And then we will be able to kill it later. Alright. Well, we didn't. We could have saved Aghanim's, but oh well. What are they at? 6? Yeah, so we'll still get a good attack in here. Opponent down to 10. And now I think we go ahead and go with Scavenger. There you go. Opponent's got a pretty full grip of cards here. Elspeth conquers death. That's probably going after our Scavenger friend. The only valid target. Yep. Sure, why not? The dorks come in, little 1/1s. Get damage while you can. Wolf Flash and Brazen Borrower. All the lands that we could ever want. And we are in a damage race here. Opponent down to 2. Good place to be. For us. Let's see. Everything's going to get more expensive. That's fine. And then what are they potentially going to get back? Oh, and then they cast Yorion. And then get a Prince back or Woe Strider. Alright, yep. Hello, Yorion. Reset Elspeth. Take out the Brazen Borrower. Gain 2 life. Get a couple more dorks. Down to 11. And opponent says, I have seen enough. And we take the win with Rogues. Rogues still showing themselves to be valid in the current standard, at least 1 game in. Jump into another game here and see what we see. Much better opening hand on at least the land base. Nice to see an island next to a swamp. Wind Robber just always seems to be there for us. Lofted and I'll drown in the lock. Into the story. We will take it. And run with it. Fabled Passage going for blue. Alright. Blue-black. Control. Mirror match rogues. Quit messing with my wind robber. Oh, mill. Of course. Of course it's mill. Windrobber.net or .deck. We hit a land. 4 cards in the opponent's graveyard means we hold up counter magic? Let's go ahead and get a land down. There's tapped. See what our opponent's up to here. Milling us card. Opponent looking at our graveyard very intently. For the Cling to Dust. Draw a card. Lots of decks running Cling to Dust these days. Yep. So we'll mill again. Definitely a productive card in this deck with Teferi's Tutelage out. Drawing a card's good for 1 anyways. Snag something out of your opponent's graveyard. But then also getting the mill trigger. Do we bounce the Tutelage? Do we care? Or maybe we hold on. I don't know that we can afford to be too patient. Ugh. Another Iceland would be nice. I'd be more motivated to use the Brazen Borrower if I knew I could slam it down as an attacker. That is not the case here. We need the blue for the Drown and the Lock or the Lofty Denial, which puts us at slow play. Yeah, this isn't looking good for us here. If we go slow against this deck, we lose. And we are not coming out of the gates racing by any means. Yeah, we will let you cycle. Please draw more cards and mill us some more. Yep. 10 cards in the yard. What do you got? End of the story? Lofty Denial, they can't pay for it. Yeah, I don't want you to get more resources. I say no to your resources. Also, I don't want to get milled that much. Do we sack the Wind Robber for the card draw? I think we do. We need blue. Show me blue. Drown and Lock, okay, fine. Ugh. And we can't cast it without blue. Give me a break. Yikes. Not what we want to see in hand, especially playing against this deck. We need our rogues coming out fast and feisty. Short. Yep. Opponent scries off a Temple of Deceit. 3 cards in hand. End of the story comes back out. We'll drown that. My goodness. Alright, fine. Fine. Let it be so. Free turns for the opponent here. Where's my rogues at? They're in my graveyard. Wouldn't mind the Agadeem's Awakening at this point, to be honest. Opponent digging around, so Cling to Dust on its way in for 4. Nighthawk Scavenger hits the bin. It's 2 or 3 of those. 2. Murderous Rider. And more black. Wow. Okay. We keep powering through. Bounce the tutelage. Just because we can buy this some time. Alright, then they get the end of the story through. Yep. Yeah, I'm not really interested in making a comeback in this game. Wow! Resources. Not the right resources by any means. And Mill gets us with the tilting concede. Alright, let's try for one more here. 3 games today, coming at you. Dimir Rogue. And after all that black mana that we saw, now we're looking at blue. Oh, risky. Let's try it. Get our Wind Rubber out, our trusty merfolk rogue duder. It's pretty cool looking. Under a giant mushroom, it looks like. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with grease. Ooh. Put a Cobra into the graveyard. I'm okay with that. Opponent on green ramp. Green big stuff. Green white. Sure. What are people playing in green white these days? Ooh, Elspeth Conquers Death goes in. Feel it our retreat. A little bit more of a controlling style of deck from the looks of it. We'll main phase Thought Thief. Get all the mill triggers we can here. And get the damage. That's a good turn for us. That's where we want to be in an aggressive stance. Shatter the Sky shows up. Something we want to keep an eye out for. Hopefully they don't have one of those in hand. Otherwise, it's not good for us. Full grip for the opponent on 2 lands. Missing a land drop last turn? Oh no, it's just turn 3 for them. And the concede. We were fast and furious out of the gate. Too fast, too furious for the opponent. Rogue's getting it done. That's the kind of opening hand and start you want when you're in the Rogue deck. So as a special treat, we're only at 18 minutes. Let's go ahead and get one more game in here. We'll take the game list to 4 games. That last one was quick. Playing against 79! Exclamation point. Ooh, all the lands. Denial, Brazen Borrower, and Awakening. This is one of those hands that you really got to trust your deck if you are going to keep it. I say we mull that away. Too risky for my taste. We will keep this. Tough choice here. I think we have to put Zareth back. Not really a tough choice, but I always like to cast Zareth. He's a fun card. So I would have liked to have held on. Yeah, we will go ahead and get a swamp out. Ooh, against mono red. Oof. I'm going to need to draw into creatures, and more creatures. Brushfire Elemental. That's an loot from our opponent. Interesting. They get the landfall trigger there, so let's punish them for it. Oh, we can't. Boo. I forget. I'm always forgetting that the Brushfire Elemental creature's power 2 or less can't be blocked by them. Sad day. Go ahead and swing with the Soaring Thought Thief to put some cards in the yard to make sure our Scavenger is a little bit more intimidating. Don't know that our opponent's going to care if they're in a very aggressive strategy here. We're looking at 5 coming across the board. What? I don't even know how to say the name correctly. Clothis? God of Destiny? When you don't see played every day. Beginning of your pre-combat phase, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was land card, add green or red. Otherwise, you gain 2 life, 2 damage to each opponent. Alright, that's not one I'm familiar with. So, I think we take 3 here. Hopefully that's not a mistake. Go in with the Scavenger, get the trigger for the mill, get a 6-point swing. Hold up the Heartless Act. Do we not have 7 or more yet? Oh, we've only milled 4. And they're going to keep us off the mill plan, exiling a card. So if it's anything other than a land, they do 2 damage to us. That's some spicy deck tech right there. That's something I haven't seen. Brushfire Elemental. Sure. Alright. Get rid of one of the elementals. We'll take 3 here. Block the Hellhound. Enforcer? Neat. I think we want to keep going in with the Scavenger here. Keep the life total high on our end. 1121. 6 cards in yard, 5 after they exile 1. They're actually going for the ramp here. They'll add an additional green. So 5 mana available, 6 if they do a land drop. Cute Swarm, sure. That's smart. Then the landfall. Making some bugs. Beefing up the bugs. We'll mill 2 more. At 7. Risky block here. But we'll take the risk. Refill our hand. Alright, we do have Drown in the lock. Do we use it on the Scute Swarm? So on the attack trigger, we will turn on Soaring Thought Thief and the Enforcer. Well, let's go ahead and get a Robber out. That'll also do the trick. If we attack with the Enforcer, then the opponent's just going to block with their little bug. We probably could have considered using Drown of the Lock on it. Or they can double block and kill it, but I think they're not interested in doing that. I think we just go for the air battle here. Opponent down to 3. Hold up Drown in the Lock. "13 cards in the yard for the opponent, so we don't care about their exile any longer. They did a good job of keeping us off of that for as long as they could. That was well played. But they've got to kill a few things in the air here to survive the next turn. Gotta knock 2 birds out of the sky here, opponent. What you got? And we Drown in the Lock that, and even with that in play, we still take the victory. Good game, opponent. Rogue still showing their viability as a competitive deck in standard ranked. My only sadness is I didn't get to cast, was it Xanthar? Because that's a fun card. But anyhow, we got some wins, we took our beats, and that is going to be it for us today. We will see you next time in the arena. Thanks for joining along with us today. Catch you on the flip side.